Right, how's everyone doing? Good, I hope. Yeah, sorry about the glare and all that, So, I'm going to show you more Doom games, or versions of Doom on the Atari VCS. Yesterday I showed you the Super Nintendo version, the Jaguar version, and the PS1 version. But now I'm going to show you other versions of Doom that I could play on my Atari VCS. And it's awesome. You know, uh, it's gonna, yeah. Yeah, so look, I love Doom, It's, I love that we can play all the versions of Doom on my Atari VCS. But like I said, the only versions that I can't play is the Sega Saturn version and Brutal Doom. But anyway, yeah. So I'm going to show you other versions of Doom that we could play on my Atari VCS. And all I have to do is go to Chrome and type in what you want. Right, so some stuff. That's me dropping the mouse, but still working. Right, okay, so yeah. Like I said, the Atari VCS is awesome. If you love old school first person shooters, the Atari VCS is a system to get. Because not only Duke Nukem 3D, all the old school first person shooters, just go to Chrome. Yeah, so like I said yesterday, I showed just the Super Nintendo version, the Atari Jaguar version, and the PS1 version. So now I'm going to show you the Game Boy Advance version, which I thought was awesome. That Doom and Doom 2 came out on the Game Boy Advance, but it did, and you know what? It's brilliant. It's better than the Sega Saturn version. It's better than the Super Nintendo version. Hell, it's even better than the Jaguar version. In terms of how it runs and it looks and stuff. So just type GBA Doom online, and there we go. A whole bunch of sites, Game Boy Advance. So there we go. This one here, Retro Games CC, I think is the best, but you can't go wrong with any of them really, But Retro Games.cc, we can use the Atari VCS controller playing Doom for the Game Boy Advance, I don't really, the screen gets much bigger than that, So it's great, if people love the Game Boy Advance like me, you can play them on your big screen through your Atari VCS. But I'm showing you Doom now, which was made by David A. Palmer Productions. So this guy did an amazing job porting Doom to the Atari VCS. I'm just going to go full screen. So if you like playing Game Boy Advance games or Doom for the Game Boy Advance, just a site to go to. Yeah, so 2001 just came out for the Game Boy Advance, and Activision published it. But this guy, David A. Palmer, he actually did the Game Boy Advance version. And this is awesome in my opinion. And works great with the so I had to set up the controls for the Game Boy Advance, but pretty awesome. And the only thing is the Game Boy Advance version, the enemies have green blood and their bodies disappear after you kill them. But considering that it's the Game Boy Advance, I'm not complaining, the Game Boy Advance, it's a 16-bit handheld, and it's I think it's, in my opinion, it's better than the Super Nintendo version. It's better than the Sega Saturn version. It's better than the 3DO version. It's better than the Jaguar version. And 3 episodes, like, you know. And for when I found out that this was on the Game Boy Advance, I saved up my money and I got it. It's awesome in my opinion. It's fully textured, as you can see. And it's awesome. Like, like I said, if you want to play any Game Boy Advance game on your Atari VCS, you can. But if you look down like me, and it has great music and all, like, it has the music. Like, the Jaguar version didn't have any music, you know. And that's meant to be a 64-bit next gen console, whereas the Game Boy Advance was a 16-bit handheld. You see green blood now, like, you know. But this is awesome. Now it's a bit more pixelated because the screen is blown up, but you know, on a Game Boy Advance it doesn't look this pixelated, but it still looks awesome. And the enemies are fully animated, if you know what I mean. But they disappear. Now that happens because the Game Boy Advance uses cartridges and there's not enough memory, I guess, on a cartridge. I think that's why the bodies disappear. But it's and the frame rate, you know, it's better than the Game Boy. The Game Boy Advance version has a better frame rate. But I don't think all the levels are there, you know what I mean? I think there's a few levels missing out of this version. But again, the Game Boy Advance, I mean, and the game only cost £45. So like, it was cheaper than all the other versions of the game. It was cheaper than the Super Nintendo version, it was cheaper than all the versions really. It was only £45. Whereas the console versions were going for like, what, 50 or 60 nearly, you know? And so, Doom and Game Boy Advance, in my opinion, it's definitely one of the better versions out there, you know. And Doom 2 on the Game Boy Advance, they corrected all the problems that were in this one. There's no green blood, the enemies don't disappear, and all the levels are intact, you know. But this is awesome. But this is Nintendo wanted to tone down the violence of the game, and ID Software didn't like that, you know. But that's why there's green blood and stuff, you know. So Doom and Game Boy Advance, it's awesome, and so awesome game, you know, and Game Boy Advance, you know, and you know, pretty cool. And it actually saved the progress onto the cartridge. Now you couldn't do that in the Super Nintendo version. You know, so you know, has again brilliantly. So Game Boy Advance, now Doom for the Game Boy Advance, awesome in my opinion. You know, so I'm gonna show you the 3DO version now. You know, for of Doom. You know, so Doom and the Game Boy Advance. Like I said, this site is called RetroGames.cc. You know, all one word. No spaces. Or just type in. I did GBA Doom Online. It's that easy, you know. And like I said, each site has different settings, different features. I chose that one because I knew I'd be able to use the controller, like, you know. So I'm going to show you the 3DO version. So 3DO Games Online and Down for the 3DO. Now this is the site to go to. Third one down, the Z.com, right? Now this site has a whole bunch of systems, but if you want to play 3DO games on your Atari VCS, this is the site to go to, you know. So I'm going to go to Doom, you know. And this site is awesome in my opinion. Like, we have multiple systems, Atari, Sega, Nintendo, 3DO, you know. So Doom, these are Born and Soldier, like, the 3DO had a lot of games. It's just its price is what killed it, you know. Um, it had a lot of FMV shit as well, but I had some I had good games. Here's Doom now. Now with this, so you had to wait for a bit for it to load, you know. Um, Doom on the 3DO, and you had to click this thing here called emulator.js. You just click that. You see a little dot inside the circle, then just click play game, and from here just let it do its thing, like, you know. It'll take a minute or two for it to load, you know. But Doom on the 3DO, it was developed by one person, a woman, but I can't remember her name. But she was given an insane deadline, and it's a miracle that she finished the game at all, given the time frame that she was given, and she did it all by herself, like, you know. A crowd called Art Data did the 3DO version, and Lucas said this woman, fair play to her, I mean, she did a great job considering she did it all by herself, but the 3DO, they were desperate to get Doom out for the 3DO because it's a game that was guaranteed to sell. But a lot of developers back then were rushing. Now, Logic were published the game, and then Art Data actually did the version. And like I said, the guy wrote an insane deadline. It's called Full Screen. Now, the 3DO version has great music, but apart from that, everything else is bad. Bad controls, bad frame rate. But it's still good. You know, it's just. It came out in 1995, around the same time as the PlayStation version. So there's really no need to get the 3DO version, because at the time in 95 the PlayStation was out and it was 300 quid cheaper than the 3DO. 3DO was 700 quid. The PlayStation was only what 200, like, you know. And Doom would cost at 50, so you could get a PlayStation and Doom for what 250, 280. Where if you wanted to get Doom in the 3DO, it costs 700 for the console, then another 50 for the game. So, and like I said, this version was rushed, but it has great music, and now it's best playing this game with a keyboard. For some reason, the VCS controller it doesn't work sometimes. It has a mind of its own, like, you know. So I'm using the keyboard to play right now. And as you see, it's in a small box. Now, crazy enough, with most games on the PC, if you shrink the box, the game runs better. But with this, you could actually make the box like the size of a postage stamp, and it still struggles, you know. But it has great music. All the levels are intact. And like I said, this is developed by one person, same as David A. Palmer for the GBA, this woman, but she's given an insane deadline, something like months only, to develop the game by herself. So my hat goes off to her, like, she's doing a great job. But everything is delayed in this game. The enemy movement, the enemy forward, the controls, but it has great music. But I couldn't recommend this version. And believe me, it's playing this game with a keyboard is actually easier than using the actual 3DO controller. You know, because it's not as delayed. If you know what I mean, touring, just like a delay or something like that. But it's awesome. The 3DO has great games. Like Wolfenstein 3D turned out better than this, but that was developed by more than one person, and they're given like more time to make the game. But like I said, with Doom on the 3DO was rushed. Just one person had to do the game. 3D CD technology was brand new at the time. Where it was it's easier to put Doom on a cartridge than a CD, you know. So So Doom the 3DO. Now the thing about the 3DO is there was no copy protection, so people could just burn games onto a blank CD and play them that way. So that's what most people did because the game was just too expensive back in the day. Like I said, the PlayStation version was already out by 1995. The Jaguar version was out. The 32X version was out, and all of which ran better than this, and cost far less, It's a shame, but that's the way it is. It's better than the Super Nintendo version, the fact that it's fully textured, but this is meant to be a next-gen system, the 3DO. It says real on the system, like the real gaming console, whereas the Super Nintendo was meant to be glass gen, but the Super Nintendo version runs just as good. You know what I mean? The only thing that the Super Nintendo version lacks is the textures, But yeah, the music in this version is the best, without doubt, But I needed the controls are delayed. It has a bad frame rate. It's in a small box, and but it's still doing. All the levels are intact, so you can still have fun with this game. But it's just if you could compare it to the other versions, like the Game Boy Advance version is way better than this one. Not the handheld, and that came out nearly 2001. That came out nearly 5 years later, so there's no excuse. But there you go. Like I said, it's not her fault. The girl that actually developed this game, she did it on her own, and she's given an insane deadline. Just have Doom ready by yourself in a few months. So yeah, so that's Doom for the 3DO. But the thing about this game is you can choose your level right from the start of the game, but you start off with a pistol each time. So again, you can't really save your progress, and there's no password system. Yeah, you can choose whatever level you want to start with, but you always start off with the handgun. So that's the way it is in the 3DO, So I'm going to show you the 32X version now, So the thing is, with this VCS website, you have to go back to the dashboard and then go back into Chrome and then choose a different version of the game or whatever, So I'm going to show you the 32X version of Doom. Go to Google and search just 32X Doom online. Now there's two versions, There's Doom Resurrection and there's normal Doom, So I'm going to show you normal Doom first. And again, you got multiple sites, but this one here, retrogames.cc, I'm going to choose that one because we know we'll be able to use the controller, Now, Doom the 32X, it came out before I think it came out before the Super Nintendo version. Only like a few months. Christmas time. Yeah, around Christmas time. Yeah, it came out Christmas time around 1994. So the only other version that came up before this was the Atari Jaguar version. So yeah, this would be the second console release. You had the Jaguar version, then you had this, then you had the Super Nintendo version. Now, so again, this is in a small box, just like the 3DO version. But now the sound is terrible, as you can hear. The music, as you can hear. But it's in a small box, just like the 3DO version. But it runs a lot better than the 3DO version, and it has a better frame rate than the Super Nintendo version. But the problem is the music, as you can hear, and Sega rushed this game to get out for Christmas time 1994, and the third episode is missing. So you've only got two episodes: Knee Deep in the Dead and Halls of the Damned. I think Inferno's missing. So you have a whole episode missing, over 10 levels. So that means no BFG or anything like that. So that's unforgivable, really. Now, this one, the Jaguars are just facing right at you again, just with the Super Nintendo version. So, yeah, even though this one runs better, like the fact that there's a whole episode missing, the music's garbage, and again, the 32X is meant to be like a next gen sort of system, 32 bits, you know, whereas the Super Nintendo is meant to be 16 bit, the Super Nintendo, you know. It has a better frame rate and smooth texture. That they're the only two things it has going for it, really. But me personally, would rather have the whole game with better music. So I think the Super Nintendo version is better than this, you know, because the 32X was an add-on for the Sega Mega Drive. So that means you have to have a Sega Mega Drive, and then you have to buy the 32X, and then you have to buy Doom. So you're talking over, what, €300 just to play Doom on the 32X. Where the Super Nintendo was only 150, 160, and you're paying €50 for the game. So we choose the Super Nintendo version of wood, you know. With this, like I said, there's a whole episode missing. That means no BFG and stuff. So now I believe co-op mode is included in this. And again, in this game, just with the 3DO version, you can choose the level that you want to start off at, but you always start off with the pistol, so that's strange. That's the way it is here, yeah, so yeah, the 32X version, it's just a shame, you know, that it was rushed. You know, it could, if Sega had, you know, wait until January or February, the developers would have had more time, and the game would have been completed, you know. But you know, it backfired on Sega actually, you know, because this started the whole thing of Sega like, just fucking releasing systems and then dropping them and not supporting them, and that's what happened with the 32X, you know. And then the same thing happened with the Sega Saturn, you know, they was out for 2 years, they didn't support it, and they just dropped it because it wasn't selling really, you know. You know, whereas if Sega just had taken their time and just given this thing 5 years, like Nintendo did, then releasing a new system, but they didn't do that, you know. They released the Sega Saturn, and you know, people lost interest in the 32X because they got burned, and people are still pissed off at Sega, so they didn't buy the Saturn, you know. So that's Doom and the 32X. It's just rushed, crap music, runs in a small box, and it's a shame, you know. But it's still Doom, you know what I mean. But I just so me personally, I'd rather have the whole game and good music. So I think the 32X version, I think the Super Nintendo version and the 3DO version are better than this, and the fact that the whole game is there, you know, because the 32X version, you're paying the same price, 50 quid, and you're only getting half a game. 2 episodes, the third episode was missing, and the Sega was just greedy, and they just rushed the game, and it backfired on them, you know, and the whole 32X backfired in big time, you know. So that's Doom on the 32X, right? So I'm going to end this part, right, and I'll show you Doom 32X Resurrection and Doom with the PC version of Doom, you know, and then I'll go on to hacks and stuff. So that's the end of this part, you know. So yeah, like, you had the Game Boy Advance version, you had the 3DO version, now the 32X version. Out of the three, now the PlayStation version is still the best out of them all. in my opinion. But the Game Boy Advance version, in my opinion, is way better than the 3DO version, the 32X version, the Super Nintendo version, the Atari Jaguar version. That's my opinion. So I hope everyone has a good day out there. Take care. Bye bye.